There's a bridge in Fairfax County, Virginia, that locals refuse to visit after dark. Welcome back to Karma Quietly Whispers, my loves. This is your place for spooky, creepy, and scary stories. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. Tonight, please join me as we journey together. I'm sure you will enjoy what is to come. So, let us begin. There's a bridge in Fairfax County, Virginia, that locals refuse to visit after dark. Not because of a ghost story, not because of a movie, but because of police reports, because of witnesses, because of a man, or something wearing the shape of a man, in a white bunny suit, carrying an axe. Tonight, we're diving deep into one of America's most peculiar and persistent urban legends. One that didn't begin around a campfire. It began with a smashed car window and a U.S. Air Force cadet who had no idea what had just found him. The Bunny Man. This one I've been wanting to do for a while, because unlike so many legends, this one has paper trails. It has dates, it has names, and it still has no satisfying explanation. Let's go to the bridge. October 19th, 1970, Fairfax County, Virginia. An Air Force Academy cadet named Robert Bennett and his fiancée were sitting in their car, parked near a field in the early evening hours. By all accounts, an utterly ordinary night. And then the rear window of their car exploded inward. A hatchet, or small axe, had been hurled through it, and standing near the car in the darkness was a figure in a white suit with long bunny ears. The figure shouted at them, told them they were trespassing, that this was his property, that they needed to leave. And then he was gone. Bennett reported it to the police. It became an official report, and almost immediately the story began to spread. Through the county, through the state, through the particular underground channels that American folklore has always traveled. Less than 2 weeks later, October 31st, 1970, a construction security guard named Paul Phillips encountered a man standing on the porch of an unfinished home in the same area. The man was wearing a black and white bunny costume. He had an axe, and he was using it to strike one of the porch supports. When Phillips approached, the figure warned him off. "You're on private property," he said. "If you come any closer, I'll kill you." Phillips backed away. He called the police. By the time they arrived, the figure was gone. 2 incidents, 2 witnesses, one recurring figure in a bunny suit with an axe, obsessed with property, appearing on Halloween and nearly on it, and then nothing. No arrest, no confirmed identity, no resolution. Now, let's talk about what the legend became, because it's almost as interesting as the documented events. Colchester Overpass, also called Bunny Man Bridge, became the focal point. Stories multiplied. Some said there had been an asylum near the bridge in the late 1800s, that a patient named Douglas Griffin had escaped after his institution was closed and had lived in the woods, hanging rabbits from the bridge as food, that he'd been struck and killed by a train there on Halloween. None of that has been historically verified. Researchers have searched the county records. No asylum, no patient, no train death matching those details. The asylum story appears to be folklore layering itself onto a real incident, as folklore does, filling in the gaps with something that feels like an explanation. But here's what fascinates me about the Bunny Man specifically, and what I keep returning to. The real incidents aren't about horror in the traditional sense. There's no murder, no dismemberment. The figure is angry. He's territorial. Both times he was defending property, real or imagined. He wanted people off his land. There's something almost tragic in that if you think about it. A man, and because it was almost certainly a man, so undone by something to do with land, with ownership, with having been displaced or denied, that he dressed in a rabbit suit and prowled the woods with an axe to drive people away. Or perhaps, and this is where folklore earns its keep, he was never meant to be understood. Some figures exist precisely because they resist explanation. The Bunny Man of Colchester Bridge has now been a fixture of Virginia folklore for over 50 years. Every Halloween, people dare each other to visit the bridge after midnight. Stories accumulate, figures spotted in the tree line, sounds in the dark, the smell of something rotting. Most of it is invention. Most of it is teenagers scaring each other in the way teenagers have always scared each other. But the original incidents, those are documented. Those are real. And the question that nobody has ever answered remains. Who was the man in the bunny suit? What happened to him? Was he ever caught? Did he simply stop? Or did he move on somewhere else, still carrying his axe, still furious about property that may or may not have ever been his? Nobody knows. Urban legends are fascinating precisely because they're almost never born from nothing. Ghostface, Jason Voorhees, the Hookman, all of them have roots, however twisted in something real or at least something feared. The Bunny Man is unusual because his roots are unusually visible. We have the police reports. We have the witnesses. We have the dates. And yet the man himself remains invisible, which somehow makes it worse. Because a ghost you can blame on the unknown. A mysterious entity can live in the realm of the impossible and stay there. But a man in a bunny suit with an axe, that's just a person. A person no one ever caught. A person who may have gone on to do other things, go other places, carry his fury into other dark corners. The most frightening monsters' loves are always the ones who are real. If you're ever near Colchester Overpass after dark and you hear something moving in the trees, it's probably nothing. Probably. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Elara, and I am your whisperer. I'll be here, waiting for you next time. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more. This has been Karma Quietly Whispers. See you soon.